That's a great question. It could take hours to explain it in full, but I'll give you a very brief explanation. We need to start by talking about first how the voice produces sound in order to understand how a pipe organ produces sound.
Right. The human voice starts with the breath here in your lungs. And we send that breath over the vocal cords, which causes them to vibrate and produce sound. And we can produce a variety of pitches with our voice. We can produce very low pitches and much higher pitches also. That's controlled by the length of the vocal cord itself. A longer length that we have in the vocal cord, the lower the sound. A shorter length will produce a higher sound. And that's similar to how the pipe organ works too. Longer and shorter pipes make lower and higher pitches. And we have some pipes we can demonstrate that with.
Here's a very standard looking pipe. And let's just talk a little bit about how it produces sound. This pipe sits like all pipes on a chest, and the wind comes from the reservoir, which is underneath, inside this chest, into the pipe. You see there's a hole here at the bottom of the pipe. This is where the air enters the pipe. It comes then through a very thin opening right here at this point of the pipe. This is called the mouth of the pipe. The air then passes through that opening. Some of the air blows out into the open space, but some of it is captured and goes into the pipe itself. And the length of the pipe is going to produce the pitch that pipe is designed to produce. You have pipes, these are very standard looking pipes, not too high or low, but you have other examples of very short pipes that produce high pitches. I have an example here of a very small pipe, you'll notice. And so you see that this whole section is the foot where the air enters. Here is the mouth, and just this little segment produces the pitch. First I'll play from this pipe so you have a chance to hear the pitch. And then from this very small pipe. We can go even higher than this, and we're going to play now another whole octave of notes that are higher even. That means even smaller pipes.
Let's start where that pipe would be here, and I'll play an octave higher going up that scale. And now let's go to the other end of the tonal extreme and play some of the lowest pitches that the organ can produce. I'll play this lowest octave. And those pipes are over 16 feet long, producing the lowest sounds on the instrument.
The reason a pipe organ can produce so many different kinds of sounds is because the pipes come in a variety of shapes and even different materials. Most pipes are like this one, a toe at the bottom, but you notice it's open at the top. However, sometimes pipes have a cap on the top, which produces a different sound. Listen to this one. They can even take a very simple chimney at the top of a pipe. This is called a chimney flute. Some pipes are made of wood, which is another material that produces a different sound. A very hollow, fluty sound. And by far the most interesting sounds are not the majority of pipes in the organ, but a few sets of pipes called reed pipes. You have to take this pipe apart to see that what you have is a little reed. It's very similar to what you'd find in a clarinet or a saxophone. You blow into the reed. Here the sound comes through the boot of the pipe into that reed. It vibrates rapidly, and this resonator produces the sound. This is a very loud, bright trumpet sound. We're going to listen to a few other examples of some organ sounds here from the organ in Kramer Chapel.
First, let's listen to a very thin pipe. And then a little bigger sound is this wooden gedeckt pipe. Next we'll hear a sort of a medium-sized principal sound, which will be a little bigger sound. And then finally, let's listen to one of those trumpet pipes again.
To explain why an organ has so many pipes, we've changed locations so that you can look up close at some pipes on an organ. Each pipe can only play one pitch. Therefore, to be able to play all the notes on a keyboard, which has 61 notes, you have to have 61 pipes, one for each key. I'm going to play from the bottom to the top so that you can hear with just one of the sets of pipes what it sounds like. There are 61 notes in that set of pipes. As you look at the pipes, you can see that there are different colors of shapes of pipes and different materials used. Each one of those is a different set. Each produces a different type of sound. One other feature of an organ that's important to understand is that there are layers of sound that are built up. Not everything is done at the same pitch. When I play a hymn in a few moments, you're going to hear different layers of sound being added, an octave higher, another octave higher, and even an octave lower at the very end of the hymn. This gives you a sense of the brightness that can be achieved in the organ as different levels of sound are added to the instrument.
The organ has hundreds or even thousands of pipes, and the organist controls all those pipes here at the console, all the things you see here. First of all, there's the keyboards, or manuals, which are played with the hands. Most organs have 2 or 3 manuals. And also there's a keyboard you play with your feet, the pedals. The things you see up here are the stops, and each stop controls a set or various sets of pipes inside the instrument. Those stops can be controlled or preset with these buttons you see called pistons, and the organist can have different combinations of sound automatically set and ready to go. We even have a common figure of speech called pull out all the stops, which we use when we want to describe a big, fantastic event. And here at the organ, we can demonstrate that literally. If we pull out all the stops, we have all the sound the organ can produce. Well, first of all, the organ is one of the only instruments that a single player can play to produce enough volume and sound to support the singing of a large number of people.
And the second reason is that the organ, producing sound the same way the human voice does, serves as a very natural complement to the sound of the singing of a congregation and supports it very adequately. And that, after all, is the final purpose, the most important reason for the pipe organ, is to lead the congregation in worship.